Hi, and welcome to the Investing on a 9 to 5 podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Teddy. We are excited that you are joining our show, Investing on a 9 to 5, where we will talk about our investment journey, our current strategies, and learn about all kinds of investing related topics. But before we dive in, we are not financial advisors. We will not be held liable for any personal investing decisions or losses that you may occur in the market. This page is purely for entertainment purposes only. Morning.
Look at Teddy. Sun's out, guns out.
I am ready for summer. I'm kidding. How are you this morning?
Good. I generally am one of those people who are ready for the season to change when it's time for it to change. You know, I enjoy winter, but then once it's time to get close to spring, I'm like, okay, I'm about ready for spring.
Oh yeah, yep. As soon as you get that first day of warm weather, you're like, let's go.
Yeah, yesterday was so nice. I went out and I did a little some Amazon stuff, but then me and my daughter just stay outside, shot basketball hoops, and I mean I'm no good, but you know I can keep up with an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
And then went for a nice long walk.
That's one thing.
It was just a good day.
That's awesome. That's one thing I can't wait to do. Every time I'm walking through the neighborhood, outside of our apartment complex, if you go outside of the gate, there's this neighborhood in our area, and these houses are $500,000 homes or whatever. And I just see guys sometimes that kids are playing basketball in their front yards. I'm like, dude, one day when we
that's gonna be you.
My kid. I was like, I've always wanted to do that.
That's right. So that's right.
That is cool. Dude, awesome. Did you hear about the Social Security? It's gonna be done. Is that done in 2024?
That sounds like scare tactics to me.
Or they said something about it in 2030. Yeah, Social Security 2034 reduction.
Oh, really? Is that law or is that their proposal?
Yeah, it says under current law, Social Security will exhaust its trust funds by 2034, and then benefits will be cut by 23%.
Oh. They'll change it.
Oh my goodness. So what does that mean? Does that mean people's monthly payment will get cut by 20%? Is that essentially what they're saying?
Yeah, a reduction in their payments.
Okay. Wow.
A 23% reduction. So, but that's 10 years from now. They'll do something. They'll do some shenanigans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll do something. Okay.
They're just saying based off of what they're seeing, they're looking like they may cut it in 20.
If they don't if the way it stands right now, the way the law is written right now, if they don't do anything with it, then that will happen in 2034.
There we go.
There's a few presidential cycles between now and then. A few other Congresses will come through. Something will happen to it. Okay.
See, that's another thing, listeners out there. These scare tactics, the way they word these articles, man,
right,
will make you think the world's coming to an end.
It's true. They do that. Cool.
Well, and that also goes to show you too, you really can't, we can't really be depending on the government, as to our, income for when we retire, because there's so much going on where they need money themselves. Right. So that's one reason why, investing as much as we can or as little as we can, starting out early and, making, that compound interest grow, with the ETFs and stuff we've been talking about, will help you sleep better at night when stuff like this comes across. Because who knows, if they were to do this and then something else happens in 2044, 2050,
Right. And to that point, diversification is important because where I am, I'm going to be getting a pension through state government. That is not guaranteed by anybody. There's no FDIC insurance for that. There is a pension insurance company, kind of like FDIC. Mm-hmm. But they only pay a portion of what you get. I had a friend whose dad was an airline pilot and retired in the 90s and had a great pension. And then that airline, I can't remember if it went out of business or what happened to it, but it might have been during the financial crisis. I forget. Anyway, his $3,000 a month pension got reduced to $1,500. because the company went bankrupt. The
Wow.
federal pension insurance kicked in, but it only
Uh-huh.
covers a percentage of your pension. So when you're diversified, you're going to get maybe a company 401k. You're going to have maybe some savings. You're going to have some
Mhm.
of your investments paying you back, hopefully. You're going to have some of your side hustles, hopefully kicking in cash toward a thing. So all those streams of income come in to help support if something were to happen. If you do get a little bit of Social Security and that goes away, well, you have something else to come in and take its place. There's people
Mhm.
out there, that article alludes to people out there who solely rely on Social Security for their income.
Right.
If you're a retired person, elderly person, and that's all you have, and that's your only ability to earn, and that gets cut
Mhm.
by 25%, what's going to happen to you? It's a tragedy.
Right.
So if you're a youngster like the dog here, then think ahead. And if you're old like me, then take steps to shore up your income so you don't have those worries when the time comes.
Heck yeah. And that's our see, and this is why we have the podcast, so we can bring these issues up, because I know everyone's life's busy, and being able to listen to it on a podcast or YouTube, or see like a tweet come by quickly, will give you the right information, or
Hopefully.
the bulk of the information, at least, not the
It
whole
it
article.
should be, yeah, it should be a starting off point to go do some further research on your own.
Yes, yes, should be. Yep, definitely should motivate you to do some research on your own. Um, but yeah, market last week finished off. What was that? S&P, I think, finished off below 400. Eh?
Yes, sir. It was a risk off week. I am happy to say that the one option play that I'm still doing is my weekly Apple calendar spread, and that returned
Yeah,
20% to me. So that thing has
nice.
been
Been
ticking
killing that.
every
That's
week. That
awesome.
thing every
And
week.
and actually, looking at Apple's chart, um, I actually signed up for trading, like 30-day, like pro thing that they
Trading
have.
View.
Yeah, and
Trading
man,
View is
yeah,
powerful.
man, I've been locked in on these charts. I got it set up here to, to give, I showed you that video of the signals and stuff that it's got on
Yeah,
here. Been
I'm
looking at
curious if those signals pop up like intraday. Like, are you watching that?
yes, yes,
So
it
like
pops
you
up
can watch it.
intraday.
It pops up at the time. Okay, it's not going backwards. Going, oh, this is when you should have bought. This is when you should. So
And the YouTube video that I watched to get this all set up, once I stumbled across this just on YouTube, and the guy, or whatever, the AI like voice thing was talking, it wasn't a person. And it goes, you can have these bot alerts sent to your phone from TradingView to let you know the stock. So say if I'm watching Apple and it alerts that it's going through a sell trend, I will go
hmm
in, look at the 15-minute, or go through my steps. And if I get indicators, if it's underneath the line, the candles, and, I'm not just going off that signal,
right,
I'm going to go look at some calls or some puts.
and do the short term play then.
Yeah. And then, like, but yo, back to your Apple call. That's, I've been noticing that the trend has been going crazy this week. Like, it's on fire.
What's fun about the calendar spread is you sell a short term call
Mm-hmm.
option, and you use that sell to help buy a longer option
Okay.
further out in expiration date. You end up paying a few $100 for the spread, but because it's kind of like a straddle, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
as the stock moves within this channel of profit, you take advantage of what we talked about before, is a theta decay. So what theta decay is, the value of the option contract goes down daily, and
Right.
it's natural decay of the value. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the expiration date on milk. As it gets closer and closer, that milk is worth less and less.
Right.
So with this, is you're playing that theta decay. So as we get into the week, like I'm watching it, and on Mondays and Tuesdays, it can be 4 or 5% negative. Just we can be within that little profit zone of the option, but because of the theta is so high still, then there's no profit there. But by Wednesday and Thursday, it could be at that same price. It could be at the same strike price that it was on Monday, but now you're
Uh-huh.
10-15% profit because of that theta decay. So the play really does rely on that decay of the theta to make it profitable. And I've managed to get at close to 20% for the last few weeks on it. Um,
Wow.
a
Yeah.
lot of
That's
people I do the play with, they get out at 10% pretty regularly and just roll
mhm.
that money in. But it's been a very profitable play to do all year. I haven't had a losing week yet. I'm knocking on wood because any week it could come.
I do too for you.
Yeah. If Apple were to make some crazy run and stay high, in the week, or drop outside the profit zone and stay there, then that would be a losing trade. But
Mhm.
as long as it stays within my little curve, um,
Yeah.
and I haven't really shared it much because it's just a little play. It's not something I would go deep on. It's something I would do one or two
Mhm.
contracts if you've got the money. And maybe I'll put a little post up in our links about how it looks and what it works. But if you're interested, definitely reach out. We can talk more about it. And if we get some feedback for it, maybe next week we can go some deeper into it. I'm not prepared today to do anything,
No,
but
yeah,
we can
of
definitely put
course.
some information up about it. It's been a good little thing. It's good a good little money maker, and I'm not talking a lot of money. I'm talking about a $300 um per 20%. I mean, so you know 30 sometimes.
Jeez. See, that's why I'm trying to learn these options so I could one day be able to do that cuz it's good that once you know how to read the charts and look at the trend of the market, just have your money just sitting there just compounding like crazy even quicker. So,
For sure.
heck yeah. And then you said you're at 1500 for Amazon?
No, I hit 2000 today.
You at 2000 today? Heck
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
when I woke up this morning, I looked at it and I'll tell you right now.
That's awesome.
2011. Not even 30 days in. So I've got a little reminder to pop up on May 3rd was my first day of getting a sale. So on April 2nd, I'm going to go
Mhm.
back and see what the full 30 days look like. But that's gross. That's not net. That's gross sales so far
Mhm.
this month is a little over 2000. And my long term goal is going to be 20 to 30% in profit. So that's what I'm working toward. And
Okay.
and so right now I'm pretty close to that. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of things as far as um the back end tools that you need. You don't
Yeah.
need a whole lot. We've talked about that before. Like, what do you need to get started? But there's some tools that are helpful, and they, like TradingView. You can do without TradingView, or you can go pay $30 a month and up your game if you know how to use it. So
Yes.
right. There's a few tools that I'm taking advantage of, like free trials and seeing how they work and seeing how they affect the business overall and if they're going to be worth the capital outlay. Which one I went ahead and bought. It's a scanning tool that goes through a bunch of stores and
Mhm.
brings up different products within certain ranges, but it's still just a scanner. It's like when you run your stock scanner and you want to see
Yeah.
any stock companies that have gone up by 5% in the last week with a certain market cap. You
Mhm.
get a list of 200 stocks. You got to go through those and see which ones are worth looking into deeper, which ones actually make money, which ones pay dividends. So I get a list of products and potential things to buy, but then you have to go deeper into and look at them and see what their
Mhm.
actual sale price is, what the different variations of that product are, and make some. And there's a chart that I use. It's called Keepa,
Mhm.
and it's what we talked about before. It's the same thing
Yeah.
as a stock chart, but for Amazon products, and you can look at it and see how many what Keepa was able to scrape from Amazon's records, because Amazon doesn't share everything, but it shows you what about how many people are on the thing selling it, about what the sale price is, a historical record of what the sale price has been, so you can
Mhm.
use that data to go, oh, it looks like it's low compared to what it has been, but there's more sellers on it, and then so you keep an eye on it. When the sellers drop off, then the supply is dropping off. So what happens? Supply and demand, right? Less supply, more demand.
man.
So, you look for those kinds of trends, and that's what I'm learning, and that's all
Yeah.
a learning curve for me right now. So I don't want to sound at all like I know what I'm talking about or I'm an expert in any way because I am not. But it is
Getting
fun to
no,
learn.
no, you're getting there. I mean, you're like I said, you're not wasting any energy going backwards to go forward. You're just continuously to knock brick by brick down, moving forward with it. And you're once again, you're around the right people in the game too, that are
Yeah.
like successful and like they're like serious about it. Because there's so many people that are doing, Amazon FBA, and it's like looking at stock market, like or say, hey, well, I see so many people investing in the stock market, I see so many people losing the money. How should I know if I should be listening to this person's like recommendations on
Hmm.
going down this entrepreneurship role? So no, you're like I said, you're around the right people. Jamar, name one just off the top of my head, and he's very good at what he does.
Definitely. Speaking of moving forward, you've got news. What happened to you that you're moving forward in life? We haven't
Oh
really
yeah,
talked. We haven't talked about it. Last week was a rough week
well,
for you. If you want to go into some
yeah.
of that, but we didn't get a chance
Shout
to say
out,
congratulations.
thank you. I took a promotion at work, so
There you go.
I'll be you know doing a new job with some new
You're
perks and stuff. So I'll
gonna be
be
a
excited.
manager now, right? You're gonna be a boss.
Something like that.
Are you
Something like that.
supervising many people, or is it more of a
No,
manager
no,
of like a program?
it's more so me managing dealerships,
Right.
and I'll be basically meeting with like the whole dealer team, like general managers and the owners, and going over their sales process and help them with
Nice.
their
There
inventory so they can sell more cars and make money in their pockets.
you go.
So it's like basically like them investing, essentially, with their money. Like, hey, you
Right.
need to invest this amount in this inventory so you can see these profits here.
Right.
You
The
can
same
have you
thing that
sell.
I'm trying to do is you look for historical. This is what's going to sell. We're coming up into the season. This is what
Hmm.
seasonality is. Is there seasonality in cars? Is there like a
Uh, yeah, we we have different. Yeah, you can say there's different seasons. Like right now, they have like different themes they put on like for different months. Like right now, Chevy or they're doing like the opening day and stuff like that.
okay.
They're big into opening day. We did
Put their Corvettes out there driving around the baseball diamonds?
yeah, or Silverados, whatever.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it's more so just managing, dealerships and making sure sales and service is top of key.
Well,
So
congratulations, man. I'm happy for you.
yeah, it'll be challenging, but it'll also be be good experience, and once again try to make some more income to speed up to this process of investing. So live below the means and pay off debt and use the rest to invest. That's it.
And did I
It's really
hear right? You've also been tapped to help kind of moderate a dividend Discord. Is that what
yeah.
you're
So
doing?
that yep, that's my shout out to the trading lounge. His name's Sal, but on Twitter, he's under Money Printer Sal, and he's just a swing trader. He does day trading as well. And he's in the Discord. They give out great information as far as like what they are looking for as as plays. They're really big on the strat. And they go very very into depth on just like education, and all discords do that as well, but I just like the conversation. And they also you know asked me to come in to do the discord for the dividends. So what I do in there is I basically just answer all dividend questions. I put out a watch list in there. Put out some strategy stuff that we talked about here on the channel, like the 10, 11, 12 stuff. Yeah, and basically just help people with questions. It's like, hey, what do you think of my portfolio as far as like dividends, or what do you think I should add or take out and stuff like that. And within that discord, I'll give them my like real answer behind it, because with those discords, it's a little bit more private. So
Right. You can
so
speak a
yeah,
little more freely.
Yeah, speak a little bit more freely, and they also on the back end too, with me being in there, helping out with dividends. I'm also, been learning how to do like swing trading contracts, like weekly or 2 weeks or a month contract.
All right.
Nothing, nothing during the day. Um, so yeah, that's what I've been doing, and that's why I got on Trading View, and just been looking at the charts, and I'm not saying I'm about to hit anything crazy, but it's good to see, like, it's good to see that the chart reading is starting to become easier now.
There you go.
So, and being able to look and reading the candlesticks and seeing that stuff. I took a little loss last week. Market got me, man. Got me, man. Got me back. I had freaking killed it last week when I got the call that about my buddy Uno, R.I.P. Uno. But when the day I got the call, man, I had hit on a Meta call from like $98 to like 300 and something. So
Hmm.
that was like my biggest trade ever. So that was like a good sign for me to, like, all right, man, like, keep going, like, just take once a month, or two a month, and just see what happens, and trust yourself and be patient. I got a Square call that's out there right now. I think Square is going to turn around next week or by the end of the month,
I think
by the
that's a
end of
good
next
bet.
week,
Yeah, I think
because
they came at them hard
Hindenburg,
in that Hindenburg thing,
yeah, they came at them hard, and
and
that made everyone like rough out their feathers.
I don't want to throw water on your hopes, but Jim Cramer, he's bullish on Square, so
Oh my
there's that.
God. No, don't tell me he said Square out of his mouth. No. Dude, that call is done. That thing is
Nah,
cooked.
maybe
Oh
not.
man. But yeah, that's basically it. And shout out to the Trading Lounge for giving me an opportunity to, come into the Discord and be able to, spread the dividend knowledge and show everyone too, like, hey, on the option side too, it is important to, this is what we're doing to have the money continuing to grow. Because I feel like in the options trading, everyone just gets the money and they want to go fly out to Bali the next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing is when it's borderline. Some of those communities can be borderline Wall Street bets, meme stock mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have a good head on your shoulders where you can avoid a lot of that. If you get into a group, a conservative group that learns how to look at a chart and how to follow the trend and take
Yes.
your profits when it's time to take profits, cut your losses when it's time to cut losses, and move on to the next trade, then it can be profitable. I tried
Mm-hmm.
that. I tried the day trading thing and didn't work. I didn't have the gut for it. I didn't have the temperament for it, I guess.
It does.
But
You're right. It does take some like patience, and like you gotta have, like you said, like the gut to like fall through with your trading plan. Because if
right.
not, like you're gonna get creamed.
I used to follow a penny stock trader, and he was good, and that's a tough deal too. But one thing that he always reminded people was taking a loss is just the cost of doing business, right? You're a businessman. You know that sometimes you make an ad buy or you do this different idea for marketing, and it just didn't work. That didn't work. We thought it was going to work. It didn't work. Let's cut our losses and we'll move on to something else.
Yep.
So the same thing happens with stocks, and I know you did it before with I forget the company now where you cut MPW.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You're down a few, you cut it, and you take that capital, move it to someplace else,
Yes.
and that's just that's part of the business. So you can't.
And that is part of the business. Yep.
You're not going to win them all. You're not going to be. No one out there is a 100% trader. There's a friend of mine.
No.
So back in California from my old
Mm-hmm.
job, there's a group of us. There's about 5, 6 of us who are still doing a California Lotto pool. So we kick in $10 a month, and we've been doing it for years. I've lost more than I'll ever win back, but it's just part of the group.
Right.
One of the guys is into this crypto hedge fund thing, and he's been trying to get us all into it to try to put money into it. And he's sending every week copies of his statement showing at least 2%, sometimes 5 to 8% every week compounding.
Holy
And I'm
crap.
like, and this has been through the last 6 months. And I'm like, how is that happening? There's no way that a
Mm-hmm.
crypto hedge fund is returning at least 2% every single week without a loss. There's no way. So
No.
I started doing my own research into it, and it's like an MLM. It's like it's basically like multi-level marketing. The people are getting paid by people signing up and like paying a $25 subscription or whatever it is, and
Yes.
then that
Yep.
person gets more people. Then you get it's the whole upstream is all in there. And I'm reading
Yeah.
it and I'm going, no way, I'm not. And he keeps bugging me about. I'm like, dude, it's not legit. I mean, maybe it's legit. Maybe that's the wrong word, but it's not sustainable. It's not
Right.
something that's going to be sustainable. And I'm not looking at a pyramid going, well, I know where I am on that pyramid, you know?
Yeah, and I know exactly those type of companies because I've been I've been asked to join those type of things before in college and after college I'm just like, wait a minute, the only reason you're gonna get money is like if I pay you, and then I
Right.
gotta get paid if I bring out my friend.
100%.
Oh
So,
man.
but they're out there. So just taking some due diligence and being careful what you're buying into is important. But at the same time, it's fun to risk a little bit. It's fun to take a little bit of your portfolio and run that risk and see if you can get something out of it. But
Yeah, and to be honest, I try to buy at least 5 calls and an option. So like I look for contracts like that are like under $100, to be honest, to
hmm
start out with, because I'm only playing with what I can lose and comfortable with losing, and then but I'm also comfortable with playing with this amount just so I can get comfortable with looking at how this money moves, because when you start getting up to bigger amounts and these money and like these options, these contracts, they compound very quickly. So like
and they
you
lose
said,
very quickly.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, they lose very quickly, so you
Yeah.
have to have the stomach, and once again
I,
you have to know how to read the charts
a
to know.
few weeks ago, a and it was during announcements. So I had a good feeling that it was going to be some whiplash. I got the call and the movement happened. Boom, I was up 100%, and I'm watching it and I go, maybe it's got a little bit more juice in it. And as soon as I
Uh-huh.
said that, boom, the bottom dropped out of it, and I ended up losing 30% by the time I sold. So like
Yeah.
they can move so fast, and that's where I don't
Right.
have the temperament for. So
Mm-hmm.
that little trade right there reminded me, okay, stay in your lane. That's not your deal.
Yeah, no, I've had some trades like that where I'm like, dang man, if you would have just put that in the dividend play,
Yeah.
it would just chilling. But I'm like, no, screw that.
If you're having some
Know how to
fun
read
with a
the
little bit.
charts. Yeah.
It's
So,
like
and I'm not
life.
trying to.
Everything in life, it's moderation is key.
Yeah, and another thing too, I'm not trying to take this money here and turn it into anything life changing fortune wise. If I do that on some lucky plays, then hey, clap. But whatever. If that's not the end goal, I'm trying to get this to multiply my dividend plays while the market is low right now. So buying some puts while the market's going down, sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Make some money and buy it, and
Yeah.
buy calls when the market starts going back up. Trend is your friend, but enough with the options talk. Shout out to the trading lounge. But dividend wise, I have just been focusing on SCHD
Mm-hmm.
and getting that up to, I think we're at 53 shares now. My wife has 3 shares in her Roth,
There
and
you
I
go.
have the other 50 in mine. So we're at 53 now. Got that dividend pending for Monday. Tomorrow it's gonna be a nice little, I think, $29-$30 dividend from SCHD.
There, drip.
So yep,
You
gonna
drip
drip
it.
it back
There you
in, and then I'm gonna
go.
match it. So it's paying me $30. I'm going to put 30 in. So I'm gonna essentially be putting 60 in tomorrow, and that's gonna get
That's
me
almost a full share now, right?
almost a
It's
full
dropped down.
share. Yeah, so now every quarter by me matching it now, I will be getting almost a full share essentially with
Yeah.
SCHD. I mean, if it keeps dropping, then eventually it's going to hit 60,
Right.
$60 total. But yeah, it's good too. SCHD group is, the trading lounge too. I was introduced them to SCHD and some dividend ETFs as well, and they are on board with doing the weekly challenge too. So it's good seeing the members in there are on board with it. And looking at Vixie, Vixie
Mm-hmm.
took a huge. I think Vixie was down this week too.
That's the
Vixie,
REIT.
yeah, Vixie's the Vegas REIT. VIXI was down this week, I think 7%. No, never mind. Down 1% this week. It is down 8% the month. So I was looking at. But yeah, I think this is great buying opportunity for a powerful real estate company, great yield, great free cash flow. They've been doing great on earnings. Vegas is prime. Like it has its own economy. People are like, it's booming, and they're continuing to add sporting events. They're going to have a train system going from Southern Cal to straight to Vegas now.
They're going to have
So,
the Oakland A's pretty soon, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're gonna. How many baseball teams are? I mean, how many sports teams are gonna have out there in that little city? Like, there's gonna be like 8 sports teams out there. So it's just gonna be a booming industry. So VIXI, they run the block out there, from casinos to golf courses to hotels. So definitely on my watch list.
What's their yield?
Their yield is 4.83, so under 5%, right between that 3 and 5% yield. So it's safe in my book for yield wise. And I mean, buying it at 31 right now, I mean, this had reached that 34, 35 peak earlier this year. So, and it's bounced off too on last week too, off the low 30. So right now it's back at 31.06. So
it's definitely one of those companies that I'm always hearing about, and like I listen to a lot of different podcasts and read a lot of different articles, and that's one of those, like, it's one that always pops up. Someone's always talking about it, so I think there's always something people are interested in that REIT, and I think it's because what you're saying, Vegas is such a booming economy compared to a lot of things in the country. You got Nevada with no income tax and the gaming opportunities. So I think it's definitely going to be a nice area to watch grow.
Yes. And honestly, too, with you mentioning, with Vegas growing, I mean, I went out there for the first time, and I'm just like, wow, I like see why Vegas is so popular. I mean, it's stuff to do all day, all night. I mean, I get up and go to the bathroom, in the hotel, and I look out the window. I'm like, dude, there's people out here walking with like a drink in there. I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
Oh man. But I'm looking at the chart here on TradingView, and it's got it's still falling. It's got some support down here near the 29.30 line here. So it could go down, below $30, and that's really buy zone for me, for real, to be honest. So it's definitely fallen. I could fall below 30 next week too. So just to be on the lookout, add it on your watch list. Not meaning that it's going down does not mean that it's a bad stock. It's just the way the market turns every now and then.
Everything's going down right now.
It presents opportunities all day. So check VIXI out. It is a solid REIT. And then my next one is Kroger. We've been talking about Kroger for a while on the channel.
It's a mainstay of yours.
Main one. And it is, the year to date, it's up. Let's see. It started the year at 49.05, I think. Did it? Hold on. Looking at the wrong thing. But yes, Kroger is a solid dividend paying company. Yield between 2 and 5. I think the yield is like 2%. 2% yield. Good free cash flow. They've been increasing the dividend a lot. They've also got into automated trucking too for delivery. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
like a local delivery.
Yeah, they linked up. I just saw an article, and I can't remember the name of the company, but they linked up with some trucking company that does autonomous driving for delivery for freezer. Like they have freezer trucks, the trucks and stuff. Like
the Schwann's truck comes to your neighborhood.
Yeah,
with no driver.
So they have those type of trucks, but they're going to be doing all that stuff's going to be autonomous. So it's just, I'm like, wow, man, they're just doing everyone's taking advantage of the AI. The race of the AI is on. So,
and that's an interesting. It's interesting you bring that. That's what I wanted to kind of chat about. Are you done?
Yeah.
I don't want to step on you though if you're still going over your.
Oh yeah, and that no, you're good. I was going to talk about AI once I got down here with Kroger, but good. Kroger's a solid dividend company, guys. $35 billion market cap. I mean, price to earnings at 16. I mean,
There you go.
and they're making really good cash. Um, those are the
Well,
ones that I'm watching, honestly, and obviously ET too, Energy Transfer. I mean, I've been talking about that for the past year and a half. It's like buy ET, buy
yeah.
it. It's on
There's nothing wrong
sale
with that.
for real.
That's just part of being though the stay the course dividend investing. Yeah, I looked at this morning. Someone had posted a graphic that shows Warren Buffett's investing, over the 20 or so years,
Hmm.
and for the most part, the companies kind of stay the same as the years go by. There's small variations to the changes of the companies, and it wasn't until like in the 2000s that he started, going from Coca-Cola and Wells Fargo into Apple and things like that. But for the most part, his portfolio didn't change for years and years and years. And that's not saying that we're going to be billionaires by doing this, but that's if you get caught up in trying to run after too many, shiny objects, then you're just going to end up losing. So you find a
Yes.
few steady companies that are going to pay you over and over again, and then
Hmm.
use some of your side money, some of your excess to do some fun stuff. But you have your core always working for you, and you have your core stay in the course and be
Yes.
steady.
Hmm. And that's good you said that too, because I did have a problem with having too many when I first started, because I wanted to own everything. I'm new
Right.
to the market. I'm like, man, I want to own this, I want to own that. First generation like investor, I'm owning everything. But it's like, whoa, 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 pump your brakes there, Junior. Let's get some shares into like some core stuff. And like you say, your core, and I have a core four, which is SCHD, AbbVie, ET, and Kroger. So like those are just like my core right there, for right now, that I know that I'm not gonna have any issues with down
Hmm.
the line. Those are my steady ones. Obviously Vixie too and stuff like that. But those are, ones that I know that I can compound and continue to purchase, and they're gonna continue to pay good dividends and be successful companies. So
For sure. For sure.
make it easy and simple, right?
Right.
So yeah, let's swing over to AI.
Yeah,
So you mentioned that you gave me a pop quiz, and I was like,
I
oh,
did. So I'm in the Amazon FBA Discord, and one of the other members hits me up. In Discord you have your little avatar and a name, and it's the same there as it is on Twitter. So it's got my little picture from the podcast label and options income investor, something like that. So
yeah,
one of the members of the Amazon Discord, he DMs me and he's like, "So do you do income investing, options investing?" I go, "A little bit." I said, "I'm kind of taking a little break from it actively right now while I'm getting Amazon started up." But and he goes, "What do you think about AI?" And I go, "Well, it's not something I've really put a whole lot of thought in. It's not my area of any kind of expertise. I use ChatGPT a lot because it's fun, but
yes,
I told him as an old conservative guy, I would go more of a Apple, Google, Microsoft route and use those companies that are going to be taking the technology and applying it to their bottom lines
for their
and
product.
making
Hmm.
money. But I said, let me check with my homeboy, the Dividend Dog, because I know he's plugged into the hot stuff and what's moving. So I threw Dividend Dog a tweet or text, and
Appreciate it.
I said, "Hey, pop quiz, what's an AI, a pure play AI company?" And he comes right back with C3 AI, right?
Oh yeah, C3.ai.
So tell me about C3 AI.
So they are. Hold on, I'm actually pulling up their company. I'm on their website right now. So C3.ai is obviously is an AI company, and it's been honestly on a little tear since year to date. I think this year it started out at like $10. Let's see. Yeah, started out at 10.34. Now it's at $25. So it's been on a nice little tear. C3 AI Enterprise AI. Here we are. All right. So they provide over 40 turnkey AI applications that meet the needs of global enterprises of manufacturing, financial services, government, utilities, oil. Um, yeah, so all those like type of industries, chemical, agri, business, defense, and intelligence. So C3 AI, I'm just gonna name off two of their like recent like deals. Shell chooses C3 AI to digitally transform Shell. The U.S. Air Force increases aircraft readiness. using C3 AI reliability or reliability.
Reliability.
Reliability, yes. So, or is it? Oh yeah, reliability. Man, tough words for the dog this morning. See, guys, everyone's got a challenge. Mine is saying this word, but but it's the message in the word though. But the U.S. Air Force and Shell are working with them, so I like that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, for me to add, like I said, 2% of it to my portfolio, which is not
Right.
much. Sure, why not? I wish I would have bought this at the beginning of the year. Be up 50%. You
And that's
know,
what I told him. I said, if any of these things, if you look at, make it a small 1 to 2% portion of your portfolio, because it is more of a lotto play, but it definitely is the hot topic of the day. Whether it turns out to it fizzles or if it continues to grow is the question. But that's why you go with a small portion of your portfolio.
yeah, and I don't know if you remember me talking about Plab, Photronics.
Yeah.
I'm still with them. I got like 15, 16 shares, and in the M1, and I can see myself doing this with C3 AI. You know,
Hmm.
it's only $25, so just buying little amounts, whenever I can. And yeah, man, I mean, this
Shell is your
company,
friend. It sounds like Shell is your Neo friend. Shell is your C3 AI friend. Shell is helping you out with a lot of companies, man.
and I'm invested in BP. Look at that. Look at that. That's crazy. I should go sell BP and just buy Shell, to be honest.
Hey, not investment advice.
Not investment advice. But they're, with, they're helping like improvise like the digital technologies at like oil companies that are like running these big oil turbine things that they are, getting information from. I mean,
Hmm.
instead of sending someone out there to go measure and read this stuff, they'll be able to use the AI, you know.
It's
So
pretty
C3
incredible.
is yeah, so C3 is more so at the top of the food chain because everyone's asking them for their product. So it's more so can be like, hey, Google I feel can go ask C3 AI to implement their thing, or they can go make their own or whatever. So this is just a pure spec play, but the race to AI is on. I mean, look at
Right.
Nvidia. Look at Nvidia and Medtronic. Medtronic is another solid dividend paying company I think is really undervalued. They're going to be using AI stuff for their colonoscopy.
Hmm.
Um, their colonoscopy technology. So NVIDIA's technology will be integrated into their AI. So that's going to help give us faster results. And I think down the line, this AI is going to improve quality of life. I feel
Yeah.
like people are going to eventually start figuring out ways to live longer. It's going to start figuring out ways to be smarter than humans in a good way. And this can be used in a bad way as well, just like anything. Just like
Anything.
if, just like if we have too much water, what will it do, Paul? We'll drown, right?
It's funny because I use it in one of the with Amazon. There's a tool called a repricing tool, and you link up this tool with your inventory, and you tell it, I want to sell this product somewhere between $10 and $15, and you give
Mm-hmm.
it some rules to follow. And these tools maintain your inventory price level, where if they watch Amazon, all of a sudden this demand goes up for this item you're selling, it will automatically kick your price up to 15 for you. If
Mm-hmm.
demand starts slipping, it'll drop it lower. It's kind of like it's like trying to get in on the bid ask spread on a stock, right? It's like if you had an order that would allow you to get the best price for a stock you're selling and pay the least for the stock you want to buy, but it uses AI. And I can see it coming to stocks pretty soon. You can kind of do it now with some different type of orders. Trailing stops will like follow your company that you own, and then if it drops 5%, it will sell it for
Yeah,
you because
it will sell it. Yeah.
yeah, take your gains. So I use this. There's AI tools with repricing that I'm learning about. One other thing, I think this is a good time to bring up the concept of picks and shovels. Have you ever heard that concept? The picks and
Mm-mm.
shovels concept. So what this is it goes back to the gold rush days. During the gold rush, people flooded the West Coast to get rich finding gold. And they would go out there and they would find, holes in the ground. They would dig in the holes and they would look for the gold ore and try to become rich. Well, who became really rich during the gold rush? Levi Strauss, Wells
Uh-huh.
Fargo. These companies
Yep.
went out west and they said, we're not going to go dig in a hole for gold. We're going to sell these guys shovels. we're going to sell these guys picks. We're going to sell them jeans. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to need this stuff in order to do it. So when you look at things like AI, or you look at, you know, whatever the hottest, newest technology coming out is, you can play the pure play marijuana, cannabis. You can go the pure play and buy the company that's growing and selling the weed. You can buy the company that's creating the AI, or you can buy NVIDIA, because in order to have AI, you're going to have a chip. You can
Yep.
buy Microsoft, because in order to deliver AI to a person, you need a platform.
Mm-hmm.
So if you the way I look at things is, the pure plays are fun, and I like to do a pure play now and then, because those are the ones that go 10x, 15x, 20x. You have 100 bagger on C3.ai because Microsoft bought them out at a huge premium, right? Or their product just hit and they become the new Microsoft in AI.
Right.
That's the gamble with a small percentage of your portfolio. Or you can say, I'm going to take 2% and go into C3.ai, but I'll put 5% into Microsoft. I'll put 5% into NVIDIA, because you're getting that benefit of an established company with income, as well as the picks and shovel approach to AI. You're getting exposure to AI, but you're not directly exposed to it. That's one way of looking at investing. It's the way I like to look at investing. Whether you choose to or not, any listener out there, that's cool, but it's a way to think about things going forward, not just AI. And anything that's coming out, look at the pick and shovel model and decide who is going to benefit the most from this technology besides the pure players. One good example has been Scott's Miracle Grow. That was really hot for a long
No.
time in related to the cannabis play. So those are just some
Oh yeah.
examples for you. Yeah.
Where's that S&P, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So just another way to keep in mind how to to create your portfolio and how to look at different options when it comes to stocks, because there's so many ways to do it.
Yes, there's so many unlimited ways to invest and make your money grow for you. I think that's what's going to happen with C3.ai though. I feel like they're going to get bought out by someone down the
That's
line.
more likely, yeah.
That would be awesome. The last thing I have is I opened up that 529 savings funds for the future.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Yeah.
So I opened that up and just gonna be sprinkling little
So when you're
amounts.
doing, so a 529 is an educational savings plan for your kids, or anyone really, I guess. It's mainly for kids. When they turn 18, they can start collecting it.
Yeah.
They can use it toward vocational school. They can use it toward college. They can use it toward any of those educational endeavors. And there's been some recent changes to the law, which has been beneficial to people who hold these things. And so you bought one with under whose name? Under yours?
Yeah. Yep. So I put me as the beneficiary for right now, and then I found out you can do that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
heck yeah.
You can do that, and then
up.
you can roll yours over. Like, say you end up having 10, 15 kids, you can roll proportionally into each kid, or you can, what a lot of families are doing now, they found is you're falling over. You can put it in the beneficiary of the oldest child and let that money grow and let them use some money. And then when they're done with their education, what's left, you can roll down to another kid, and you can continue to do that. And another thing that happened with this passage of the Secure Act, I think 2.0 law that just passed, was that you can now take some of that money after the 529 has been open for 15 years and there have been no deposits or contributions to it for 5 years. You can take any excess up to $35,000, and the beneficiary can roll that into their Roth 401k, subject to annual limits. So you can take that 35,000, you can break it up into $6,000 or $6,500, whatever the limit is at the time, and throw that into their Roth every year, as long as they have at least $6,000 in income. So if you have more than one child and they're out of college and they've been out of college and you haven't put any contributions to that 529 for 5 years, and each child is making at least $6,000 a year, you can roll that into their Roth for them, and it becomes part of their Roth.
So it's essentially like you pay your kids too.
Well, here's the thing. So, and coming back to the Roth, and not, I mean, so let me get finished 529. With the 529, also check your the state you live in And some states allow you to deduct your contribution to the 529 and some don't. When I set mine up for our kids, I was living in California, and California does not allow for a state income deduction for the 529 contribution. I knew we were moving to Arkansas. Arkansas does allow for that tax deduction. So we're still living in California, but I opened up their 529 in Arkansas. You can open it in any state. You have to live in the state and you have to file in that state to get advantage of that, but you can open it in any state. Some states have better plans than others. I've heard Utah has a really good 529 plan as far as it's like 401ks. You know, some companies offer really good 401ks.
Right.
Some companies you can invest in one fund. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the states are the same way. The 529s are the same way. So I opened up our kids' 529 while we lived in California, in Arkansas, knowing we were moving to Arkansas, and I'll be filing this year, partial year for Arkansas. And I just was doing my taxes last week and was able to take that little deduction off my income tax for the money I contributed to their 529 this year. So those are some things to think about if you're looking into your own
loopholes there.
Little tiny loopholes to be aware of. Yeah. Back to the Roth with kids. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I got this space at 11, and it's 11:10.
Oh, okay.
No, we're good. I told him I was gonna be late, but I was just putting it out there.
No, we'll let you go. Go get your space. We'll pick this up next week.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry, dude.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on this Sunday with Paul and I, Options_Legacy, and your boy, the Dividend Dog, on the Investing on a 9 to 5 podcast. We thank you guys again for subscribing to the channel, subscribing to us on Twitter, and us on YouTube as well. We thank you guys again for the support, and we will catch you guys on the next video.
Everyone have a great week.
We out.